I learned about the story when I received the script, and my reaction unfolded kind of slowly. At first I was really fascinated by it, and then that kind of dropped into anger as I realized that it was real, and then a whole bunch of emotions as I realized it was ongoing. You know, I think we've come to expect, particularly when we see films about social justice work, I think that we have, in David Goliath stories, we expect to see Goliath fallen at the end, or felled at the end of it. And that's not exactly the case here. And so I kept waiting for that, you know, that kind of ecstatic release moment at the end of it, and I realized that's not this story. The story is harder. The story is more reflective of reality, and this is something that's ongoing. This is something that involves all of us. It was a talk with Todd that made me want to play this part because, you know, when I first got it on the page, there's this cliche about, you know, there's the central character and then his wife. And when I first got it, I thought, oh, is this one of those situations? And then Todd told me about Sarah Bartlett and who she is. And I was pretty humbled, actually, by and kind of brought down to earth by my own assumptions about what a Midwestern housewife was. Sarah is someone, she is vivacious, she's powerful, she has so much strength, and she's full of contradictions. You know, you can't tell everything about her just by one aspect of her. So I really had to meet her and get to know her, and I'm not sure that I figured out all of what she's about, but I think I found enough to kind of give people hopefully a good glimpse. I've gotten a glimpse of what it is that allowed her to be so strong for so many years. You know, it's not a small thing to have a stranger come and say, okay, I'm going to represent you to the world. And I think a lot of people would have had, you know, a wide spectrum of reactions, but hers was unfailingly generous and open and honest and trusting, and my performance was allowed to be so much richer because of that. And so I was grateful to her before I met her. I'm grateful to her after I met her. She's a really special and unusual person. It makes sense to me that she was able to go through this with as much grace and honesty and dignity as the situation required. This is a story about a very particular American sort of hero. And I think we've become very used to seeing our heroes be larger than life. And Rob the Lot is an understated man. His heroic qualities are not loud. They are not necessarily what society celebrates, but they are the thing that allowed him to change the world for us. Like, there's very little glory in all of this that's gone his way. He's done this because, for a very simple reason, he felt like it was the right thing to do. And to be a part of celebrating someone so humble, so quiet, and so unexpectedly heroic felt like a real gift. One of the first things Todd told me was that I would be playing a conservative Republican. And I thought, well, in my kind of thinking at the time, I was like, well, how do conservative Republicanism and environmentalism, how do those two things go together? And Todd and I have had a lot of really interesting conversations about that, about how some of Sarah's heroism comes from the fact that her life took a real left turn away from what she thought it would be, what she had been led to expect it would be, what she perhaps even signed up for, but that she keeps going because of this really simple concept, which is doing the right thing. And that causes her to leave behind certain things that, you know, I think if you'd asked her at the beginning of the story, she would have said were really important to her. But she always took a step forward in terms of, well, okay, now that I understand this more deeply, what are my true values? So Todd was amazing at helping me see all the complexities of her, helping me understand all the complications, not to get confused by them, but to actually be more liquid about them. they're a good match with each other. Sarah's really outgoing and vivacious and chatty, and Rob's very stoic and understated and quiet. So they do complement each other nicely. And I wonder about that a lot, about how much the difference in their personalities kind of allowed them to move through this. But they share common values. It's important to them to do the right thing. It's important to them to be good people. It's important to them to be people of service. Mark, Todd, and I have asked that a lot. You know, why didn't you walk away? Like you had a few, to Rob, like you had a few invitations to walk away. Why have you stayed in this fight and gone deeper with it? Like sure, nobody would have blamed you for saying mercy and doing something else. And I think Rob, it comes back to this thing about it's the right thing to do. He doesn't see, he has such, at this point, expertise on the subject. He's put in so much, I think he wants to see it through. What he brings to the role is a lot of things that we've come to expect from him. Stunning acting, so intelligent, so soulful, so dignified, with so much integrity. In some ways, I think on a scale that we haven't gotten to see from Mark yet. And it's such a beautiful, understated performance. There's something very risky about what he's doing, you know, to play someone so understated for the length of a film. And I think he's pulling it off. I find him incredibly captivating in this role, and the story that he's giving to us for us all to know, it's a real gift. There's knowledge in this film. This is an important bit of history for us to know. It's important to know that there's a man named Rob Bilott, and he made us safer. He's a huge reason why the world is a safer place and is becoming a safer place. And he can't do it alone. He's carried this on his back for a really long time. And he needs us.
これはあなたにも起こりうる物語。
Teflon is completely safe for cooking. Besides being completely safe,
長い戦いはここから始まった。
Robbie Bailey.
I am a corporate defense attorney.
そのビデオテープに映っていたのは巨大企業が隠し続けてきた水質汚染の実態。
That chemical. What if you drank it?
Drank it? It's like saying, what if I swallowed a tire?
目の当たりにしたのは
You want to sue DuPont?
Rob, you need to tell me what in the hell's going on.
あまりにも深くて暗い闇。
Then he'd get sick for weeks. Teflon flu, the guys would call it.
She gave birth to a baby with one nostril and a deformed eye. Not enough to poison these people, they gotta swindle them too? Not the companies, not the scientists, not the government. We protect us. We do.
どれだけのものを失えば真実に光を当てられるのか。
But it's not failure.
Well, these people have crossed the line. To hell with them!
You know DuPont better than anyone. What haven't they thought of?
一人の弁護士が巨大企業の隠蔽を暴く戦いの物語。
We'll get sick tomorrow. We need a way to protect them into the future.
ダークウォーターズ、巨大企業が恐れた男。
Hey Lisa here with a bonus movie fact. Did you know that the set for the Ten Commandments was buried underground for decades? Cecil B. DeMille, director of the 1923 film, thought the movie set, including 21 Sphinx replicas, was too valuable to let other filmmakers get their hands on it. He figured it was cheaper to bury the set than to move it, and the artefacts remained underground near the California coast for 94 years before archaeologists found them in 2017. Do you like my shirt? You can get one for yourself in the link in the description.